And for part two, what is the real price um, when we are talking about auto loans? All right, so some variables of the loan. So we are going to have the negotiated price. So this is going to be the price that is being paid for the car, and it's going to be agreed on by the buyer and the seller. So whenever you are looking at a car advertisement, it may say that a car is worth $10,000. That is what the seller is wanting to get out of the car. That does not mean that you cannot negotiate a new price. So you could talk to them and figure out maybe if it's priced at $10,000 and you are not willing to pay more than 9,500, you could talk to them and maybe figure out a way to get the price down just a little bit. And that is the negotiated price. So the price that you actually pay for the auto. And then we have the down payment. Most of the time when you buy a car, you are required to put a down payment. So this is going to be the amount of money that you pay right then. So for example, in October, I got a new car. I had a down payment. So before I left with my new car, I paid them $500. I then waited a month and then I started making my monthly auto payments. So a down payment just shows them that I have money that I can spend on this car. And then it brings the total price of your car down. So if you bought a car for $10,000 and you were able to put a down payment of $2,000 on it, you then only have a loan for $8,000. So the larger your down payment, the more beneficial it is for you because that's money that you're not then being charged interest on when you have your auto loan. Alrighty, so that was number 9. We know what the negotiated price is. And number 10, what is usually required to purchase an automobile. It's going to be that down payment. We also could have a trade-in. So if you currently own a vehicle and you don't want to drive it anymore, you want a new vehicle, you could trade that in. So if they're going to appraise your car, so they're going to say how much they think it's worth now, and then they would just subtract that amount off of your new car's total. And then when we also have the principal loan amount. So this is going to be the loan for the auto or for the car after subtracting any down payment or any trade-in for the vehicle. Keep in mind that this principal, much like every other time we've talked about principal, this is going to be without any interest or fees added onto it. So the principal is just going to be the base amount, and then fees and interest would be added on top of that at a later date. Just like our credit cards, we have our annual percentage rate. So this is going to be how much we are charged for the cost of credit on a yearly basis, also called the interest rate. So this number 12, define the annual percentage rate. It's going to be the measure of the cost of credit on a yearly basis expressed as a percentage. The amount of time will be how long it takes you to repay the loan, usually expressed in months. So they are going to give you a loan and a minimum payment. And then they will tell you how long it is estimated for you to pay off this loan. So given my minimum payment, I may pay off my loan in 36 months. That does not mean that you can't pay it off faster than that, but that's how long it would take you to pay off your loan if you only made the minimum payment every month. Number 11, I probably didn't say that specifically. This principal loan amount is going to be the variable that is dependent on the down payment and the trade-in, because that's the number that's going to change based on the down payment and the trade-in. We have what measure of time. What measure is the time period of a loan usually expressed in? We know that that's months. And now we will talk about the total cost of the loan. All right, so the total cost of the loan is going to be the loan amount, the interest paid, and any other fees that are charged with this loan. So that's going to be the total cost of the loan. And that number is different than the total purchasing cost, because the total purchasing cost will be the down payment, the trade-in, and the total loan amount. So in order to get this total purchasing cost, you would take the total cost of the loan, and then you would add the down payment and the trade-in value. The total cost of the loan, because it already has the principal, the interest, and the fees, you then add the down payment and the trade-in value, and you get the total purchase cost. So that's number 14 and number 15. Some rules of thumb, we already covered a couple of these. The larger the down payment on a car, the lower the principal loan amount is. The longer time period of the loan, the smaller the payments, and the more interest is paid. So if you have, you're going to pay more in interest on a loan that is 72 months than a loan that is 36 months. And then the higher the APR, the more interest is paid and the longer the total loan amount. And the larger the total loan amount, I apologize. So the higher the interest rate, the more interest is being paid, which makes your total loan amount larger. That's going to be 16, 17, and 18 right there on that slide. All right, so now how do we calculate the cost of the loan? So there are going to be three variables that we need to calculate the loan. So we need the principal loan amount, so the actual number, the actual dollar amount that this car is valued at, the interest rate, and the time period. We're going to get, estimates. So depending on how your calculator rounds, these numbers may be a little bit different. But those are going to be the three variables needed to calculate the cost of your loan. And we have, you might want to write these in this space as well. And I also have another link that could help with calculations at the bottom of the note guide. So you are going to estimate the interest that you pay. You would take the principal loan amount times the interest rate times the time period. That would help you figure out how much interest you will pay. You can find the loan amount by taking this interest paid. You already found that with that first equation. And then you add it to the principal loan amount. That tells you the total loan amount. And then if you want to find out your estimated monthly payment, you would take the total loan amount divided by the number of payments. The time period and the number of payments are typically going to be the same. So if it takes us 36 months for our time period, our number of monthly payments would be 36, because you usually pay once a month. So we would take our total loan amount divided by how many times we are paying, the same number as our time period, and that will get us our estimated monthly payment. So we know that what our three variables are. They're our principal loan amount, our APR, and our time period. And now we know the three equations that we use to find out different variations of our loan calculations. All right, so for an example, I think, we are going to use this first one. So Joe decided to purchase a car. The negotiated price is $7,500. So that's how much he needs to pay for a car. There is an 8% interest rate for 36 months. So time period, 3 years. But we want to talk about that in months. So that's going to be 36 months. We see that right here. 36 months is the same as 3 years. So he's going to have a down payment of $2,500. So first step, we take $7,500 minus $2,500 That means that his loan is only going to be for $5,000 because he paid the $2,500 in cash. So his loan amount will be $5,000. We see this equation right below it, negotiated price minus down payment equals principal loan amount. All right, so now that we know what the principal loan amount is, we can figure out the estimate, we can estimate the interest paid. So we're working in this second column right here because he had a $2,500 down payment. How much interest is paid? So we are going to take the principal loan amount times the APR times the time period to find out the interest paid. So we took $5,000 times 0.08. Remember, to turn a percentage into a decimal, we move the decimal to the left twice. So times 0.08 times 3 is going to be $1,200. So this first box, how much interest is paid? He's going to pay $1,200 in interest over the next 3 years for having this loan. So then box 2, what is the total cost of the loan? So I'm going to type this in here for your example. So we take 5,000 times 0.08 times 3 equals in interest paid. All right, so this, what I have bolded, should be the answer in that box. Feel free to put the equation, but you do not have to. All right, so then what's the total cost of the loan? So we need step 2, find the total loan amount. So we take the interest paid, what we learned in step 1. We add back in the $6,000 or the $5,000, and that gets us our total loan amount, which is $6,200. All right. Alrighty. And then again, our answer is bold. So now let's go to our next slide. So we know our total loan amount, $6,200. So then what is our total purchasing cost? We're going to skip down to this bottom box. What is our total purchasing cost? So we have our total loan amount plus our down payment equals our total purchasing cost of $8,700. All right. And I guess I don't have the equation for the monthly payments on here, but let's go back and look at it real quick. All right, so monthly payments. So we're going to take the total loan amount, which we know is this $6,200, and we're going to divide it by the number of payments. So this is over 36 months, so we will make 36 payments. Let's do some quick math real quick. All right, so you are going to be paying $172.72 a month for this vehicle. All right, and we already got the total purchasing cost of $8,700. So because we chose to get a loan, we are paying we're paying about $1,200 more, which is what our interest paid, obviously, was how much that difference is. But we're paying $1,200 more for this car because we had to have a loan for it. which is fine. That's how most people have to purchase vehicles, but just keep that in mind. Anytime that you can pay cash for something instead of using credit is definitely the best option because that's how you're going to be saving money. All right, and so I have a couple other examples. I would like for you to do those, and that would be the extra credit for this note guide. This one is going to be worth a little bit more because of these examples.